Hey Reddit Schmuckles, today I wanted to talk about some new leaks that I got for Dead by Daylight. I'm live on Twitch right now streaming DBD, link in the description below. I also made a new playlist called DBD Leaks where I kind of compiled all of the leaks that I've received. I wanted to do some leak analysis for the previous perk leaks that I received in the last video. I've been getting a lot of criticism for the leaks that I've been talking about on this channel, and the main source of it is this icon that I released last video. People are saying, and this is actually 100% true, that this icon just looks like a combination of Dead Man's Switch and We're Gonna Live Forever. It's not like this icon's even been reimagined whatsoever. It's literally just two Dead by Daylight perks put together, so some people are thinking that this is fake. It doesn't seem like an original perk icon because it's literally just these two perks put together. To me, I don't think that this confirms that these leaks are fake. If we take a look at the past, Behavior has a track record of recycling perks that they've used before. I've tried to find every time that they've done that. We can see that kind of the eyes for Counterforce, Inner Focus, Rookie Spirit, and Windows of Opportunity look pretty similar. They're not identical, but they are pretty similar. Also, the perks Diversion and Flashbang look pretty similar too. And then Pharmacy and Residual Manifest look pretty similar too. If you look at Diversion and Flashbang, that is literally the exact same hand that's just reused. Diversion came first and then Flashbang came after, but they've recycled the hand. Same thing with Pharmacy and Residual Manifest. They've recycled the exact same hands for those perks. The eyes in the 4 perks with eyes kind of look similar. The eyes aren't exactly the same. There's actually enough variety in each of these perks to justify them being unique perks. A good counter argument to what I'm trying to say here is every single one of these perks is not completely recycled pieces. Like if they've ever recycled things from previous perks, there's always new things brought to the table for the perk icon design. The perk that I leaked last video is literally just a combination of 2 perks with no new elements to it. Does that make sense? All of the perks that I brought up for an example here have brought new elements to the perk icon design. Well, I emailed our good friend Jeff Johansson about this, and he said you're right to be skeptical. He said to me that he thinks that his source is very reliable and that he trusts his source. He also said that it's possible that the icon that he sent me is a work in progress, meaning that it's not a fully completed design. And I found that kind of interesting, and then a couple days later, Jeff Johansson sent me this, and he thinks that this is the completed version of the perk. And I didn't even tell this guy, like, it kind of makes no sense if there's no new elements added to the perk, and this new icon that he sent has new elements added to the perk. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Do you think that this is a new perk, or do you think that this is a troll? Personally, I think that this makes sense for a new perk, and I kind of believe it. Jeff said this to me. Here's the perk icon. This may explain why the one before looked so weird. Other than this, I have nothing on Twisted Desires other than the name. It may be linked to the Obsession, but with no name, but that's just me guessing. I'm not exactly sure how the data miners are getting access to all of these leaks, but they're not 100% sure what the perk itself is yet. Based on the perks that I leaked last video, some people think that they have a pretty good idea of which chapters they're going to be coming in with. Like the perk Enfeeble Execution sounds like it could be a night perk, so possibly coming in with chapter 26. Someone said these perks sound like RE perks. Dark Obstruction I can imagine is referencing his sunglasses. Task Driven and Defensive Nature kind of feel like something for Ada. Ada definitely fits these. Maybe Defensive Nature could be Rebecca. She is the STARS medic and Defensive might fit with that. Someone said Defensive Nature sounds like a perk that Rebecca Chambers would have, since she's the medical officer of the STARS Bravo team. It would make sense for her to care about other survivors and make them as quiet and stealthy as possible when injured and near her. Task Driven, on the other hand, sounds like a suitable perk for Ada's profile, since she's a great and resourceful spy who is able to complete several missions as quick and unnoticed as possible. So I do feel like these perks might be Resident Evil perks. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Jeff Johansson also said this to me. The status effect is coming with chapter 26. I don't know how it will work, but as the name implies, it may be like a fatigue status effect like Legion and Trickster, but for survivors. This is a complete guess though. And the status effect that Jeff is talking about here is the one that we talked about in the last video called the Disoriented status effect. So as of right now, the data miners think that this is coming in with the night chapter. If we combine these leaks with leaks that we got from a different source in a previous video, it's kind of strange. According to a previous leak, somebody told me that this chapter will introduce a new survivor status effect called Stunned. From these 2 different sources, we have 2 different survivor status effects coming into the game. This source here says Stunned, and Jeff Johansson is saying Disoriented. I wonder if one of the sources is confusing the chapters here. Like maybe chapter 26 will have one and chapter 27 will have another. Heck, I guess even chapter 25 could have one of these status effects. Another leak that I got from Jeff Johansson is an Albert Wesker perk. It's called Inevitable Fate. After being stunned by a pallet, Inevitable Fate activates for 12, 16, and 20 seconds. While Inevitable Fate is active, your movement speed is increased by 5%. You destroy drop pallets and breakable walls by 35%, and your lunge is increased by 45%. That's really interesting. This is the first perk that we've gotten from one of the data miners that actually identifies which chapter the perk is coming in for. So when the Resident Evil Part 2 chapter drops, we're going to be able to confirm if this is all real or fake. That's good to know and something to keep in mind going forward. This seems like a really strong perk to me for killers that are really bad in chase. I wonder if you could slap this perk on with Spirit Fear and Enduring with really bad killers in chase like Sadako. This perk could really bring up the weaker killers in chase. Like in Sadako's case, she has pretty good map mobility, not as good as the Dredge in my opinion, but her chase is really bad. So if you can just bring up up her chase to a higher level, that's going to make her a better killer in general, because she already has the map mobility. Behavior also tweeted out this year 7 roadmap, and I find it kind of confusing. Chapter 25 only says new survivor, not new survivors, and the leaks said that there's 2 new survivors coming in for chapter 25. We're pretty sure it's going to be Rebecca Chambers and Ada Wong. Just the way that this roadmap is displayed, I'm wondering if one of them is going to come in as the base kit and the other is going to come in as a legendary skin. If they're 2 different characters, they're each going to come in with 3 teachable perks. But if one is a legendary skin for the other, we'll only see 3 new survivor perks in this chapter. I'm going to talk to some of my sources and see if I can get a definitive answer on this. I think it's most likely that we're going to get 2 separate survivors.
First, I'll tell you some of the things we know we can expect throughout this next year. There will be 4 new chapters, which means 4 new killers and their survivor counterparts, of course. In addition to that, there will be 4 tomes in the archives, diving deeper into our character's lore. And with the narrative direction around the Observer's Tower going in a new direction, we're all super excited to watch that unfold.
What is this all about? We'll learn more over the coming year. It's really exciting.
Let's just say that it is 2 separate survivors. Do we think that they're going to bring in legendary skins for the survivors like they did for the first Resident Evil chapter? If they did that, it's kind of strange to see 2 female survivors. Like, usually the template is 1 male, 1 female, and then legendary skins for both of them that doesn't change the gender. You could kind of argue that one of Cheryl Mason's legendary skins transforms her into James Sunderland. So the legendary skins can change the gender, but typically if they're bringing in 2 survivors, I'd expect 1 to be male, 1 to be female, and then they each come in with a legendary skin. That's kind of been the template up to this point with multiple survivors in a chapter. If they are 2 separate survivors, do you think that there's going to be legendary skins for these survivors? Like, could we see someone like Ethan Winters or something like that? Let me know what you think in the comments below.
It seems like just yesterday that during our 5th anniversary, we revealed to you that we were going to do a Resident Evil chapter. Your reaction was so good at the time that we wondered, why stop there?
On June 13th, Dragon's Grip on Twitter told me that Capcom just revealed a 3rd-person mode for Resident Evil Village. And that kind of means that we can finally see Ethan's face. So I guess it's possible now that Ethan Winters could come into Dead by Daylight if they time this with Capcom. We know that for the previous Resident Evil chapter, it was very coordinated with Capcom. Like, the announcement of the chapter was very coordinated with one of Capcom's anniversary events with our anniversary event.
Hi! On behalf of everybody here at Behavior, congratulations on 25 years of horror. Over the years, our very own 4v1 multiplayer action game, Dead by Daylight, has become the Hall of Fame of horror. And today, I'm excited to say Resident Evil will soon be joining our universe. I suggest you get some practice in before the chapter comes into the fog. Because look, you have 2 choices here. Kill or be killed. It's your call.
So I think it's possible that things could be very coordinated behind the scenes if they want to release an Ethan Winters skin in DBD. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want content like this recommended to you by YouTube. And again, I'm live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight, link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.